Hey everyone, we're still at the VMworld show and we're talking to a lot of vendors here and we found a very special one. So we're here over at Simplivity, and Damien, can you tell the viewers a little bit more about what your role at Simplivity is and what Simplivity does?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Damien Bowersock, I'm a field engineer here for Simplivity, and we brought to market a really interesting product that really focuses on three main areas. The first area is the concept of taking all of your infrastructure, all your IT infrastructure, your servers, your storage, your WAN optimization, backup, dedupe, everything in the traditional stack, and compressing that into a rudimentary building block that has all of the functionality that you want in your infrastructure. From there then, we actually enable that technology with dedupe and compression. It's inline, it's wire speed, and it's offloaded onto an accelerator card that we developed, all right? And we do that all in a global federated way. So it gives you the ability to manage multiple data centers from a single pane of glass, manage the virtual machines across all the different data centers, backup, recover, the whole 9 yards, all integrated into that building block.
So truly adhering to your name, Simplivity, it's real simplicity for
That's our humble mission, is to simplify IT, right?
Oh, that sounds really good. Yeah. I mean, you guys have a great booth. There's a very fast car here. I think that sort of mimics the speed you have.
It's a little sexy, right?
It's a lot sexy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you guys also do demos. You show your solution here?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so back here in the demo bay, we have 4 individual data centers. This map kind of represents how we've got them laid out. They're actually all sitting here on the show floor today. So we've got 4 OmniCubes in Barcelona, 3 in San Francisco, et cetera. And then like I said, we actually have a connection out to Amazon directly. So we can actually move virtual machines between these different data centers, all active live on the show floor. So we can show you on the GUI here how things kind of function. So what we're looking at here is the vCenter view. So everything we do is integrated into a plugin inside of vCenter. All right, so this is the Simplivity plugin. At the virtual center view, I can see all my different data centers, their capacities, their free space, and then most importantly are the backup policies, and that's how I protect my virtual machines. At the data center view then, we kind of transition down, and we can see the metrics about how we're doing from a dedupe standpoint and compression. So obviously we've been doing a lot of backups in this environment, and we're getting some really big deduplication numbers because we got lots of copies of VMs. But the reality is for an average production workload, this could be anywhere 10 to 20 to 1 at least. So and again, this not only represents a savings in capacity, but most importantly, it represents a savings in I/O. It's the I/O that never had to hit the underlying spindle.
Exactly, especially if you're talking about a global solution, you want as limited as I/O as possible.
Right. I mean, your most precious commodity in this environment is the I/O on that spinning drive. That's the slowest moving part, right? So. From here then, let's look at an individual virtual machine. So I've got this big giant VM here called Daryl Win 3. It's a 1.5 terabyte VM with 466 gigs. So I'm going to back this guy up. And in just a second here, we'll get a list of all the backups that we've taken to this over time. So if I back this up real quick, I just come down here and do a manual backup. I'll just save it locally. It'll populate in our list, and that becomes a reference point that we can recover from later. So every backup is a full copy of the virtual machine, just stored in a fully deduplicated way. So very little space is going to be consumed. Everything comes in as a standard task inside of vCenter, and that gives you the ability to have your audit trail, et cetera.
And it's already backed up in literally seconds.
Yeah, it's done. Our backup task, somebody's got it scrolled here on the task list. Our backup task took 4 seconds to back up a 466 gig virtual machine.
466 gigs in 4 seconds, that's really impressive.
That's pretty quick. But what's more impressive though is if I take this virtual machine and I back it up, it's in the Barcelona data center now. Let's send it off to another data center. Let's go to Tokyo. Okay? So it's real simple. Everything's done by name. You don't have to worry about IP addresses or LUN names or any of that kind of stuff. I deal with VMs and data center names.
Simplifying IT even more.
That's the name, right? So, yeah, so the nice thing is this is going to take a while, right? I got to ship 466 gigs of data across the wire. But yeah.
Across half the globe.
Yeah, across half the globe. Fortunately, it's across half the room, but it's okay. For the purposes of argument, yeah, it's technically going across the globe. But what we did is we actually created a new protocol. And so every time I want to ship new data to another site, I ask my partner, do you have any of these bits? And if I've got the bits, I don't have to ship them again. So we can leverage that dedupe not only locally, but across the wire as well, shrinking the bandwidth.
Saving IOs also on the network.
Saving IOs, saving bandwidth, saving a lot. saving money ultimately, right?
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. So while we were talking here, I backed this guy up. Did it finish? Yep, there's my Tokyo data center. I only had to ship 6.9 megabytes of data across the wire to do it.
Perfect, and that's because you already had all the bits on the other side of the net.
Most of the bits were already there.
Perfect. So it looks like a really good and simple solution. If people want to find out more, where should they go?
So the best place to start is simplivity.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at Simplivity Corp. You can hit the booth here for a couple more hours. Just find the guys in the blue shirts, dark pants, look for the bright white car out front, and we'd love to see you.
Perfect. I'm sure we'll see you around. Thanks so much, Damien.
Yeah, thank you very much.